whisper to you. So, I have not read these stories in their entirety. It is going to be just as much as a surprise to me as it is to you. I drink a lot of coffee and tea this morning, so I feel like I have a lot of pent-up energy that I want to get out. So, I'm going to go ahead and jump into these creepy stories. Hopefully, they're scary. You may hear my dog in the background snoring. Honestly, I'm just gonna let her sleep and snore in the background. I hope that you are doing well today. I know that I am doing okay. Let's go ahead and jump in, guys. So, this first story is called Something in My Son's Closet. I'm writing this here because I honestly don't know where else to write it. But I'm looking for some sort of input or something. I don't honestly know what I'm even asking for specifically, if anything at all. My sister and her boyfriend lived with me in my house for a while, along with my 2 kids, both 4 years old. They moved out about 2 weeks ago into their own apartment, and now I'm here alone with the boys. I don't know if I was just not very privy to this initially with a full house of people, but I started hearing noises in the middle of the night, sounding like footsteps or light scratching on the walls. I assumed it was maybe a rodent of sorts, but things got a little more eerie as the days went on. First, my oldest starts screaming in the middle of the night. Children scream and children have nightmares, so this was my assumption. But he seemed legitimately fearful of something in his room. I let him sleep in my bed with me for the night, which immediately drew my other son into the bed too. The next night, he refused to go back to sleep in his room and said that the lady in the closet was saying bad words. The next night, he refused to go back to sleep in his room. He said the lady in the closet was saying bad words to him. I assured him that there was nothing in the closet. This also involved me taking him in there, to which he threw a fit and demanded to be let out. Did she put him in the closet? I showed him from his bed that there was nobody in the closet. I took his clothes off the hangers to show him, and also moved all of his toys, and even closed the door on myself to show that nobody could fit in there. Oh my god, this is creepy. I'm 5'5", and I couldn't even fully close the door on myself. He begged for me to come out of the closet out of fear that she would get me. I took to an odd method of reassuring him. My sister came over later with a can of Febreze with the label peeled off and told him that it was monster spray that she bought from Target. I know Target isn't necessary to mention, but I thought it was cute. She sprayed the inside of the closet and said that no monsters could come inside now. It made him feel better. This lasted one whole night before he woke up again screaming and crying, stating that she doesn't want Zia to come back anymore, which is Italian for Aunt Zia. I don't know what else to do other than to move him back into my room. I'd reason all of this to be a scared child. My sister and I used to spook ourselves to death when we were growing up, but the next bit I can't really explain. I was doing some Sunday cleaning and I was in the boys' room. As I'm vacuuming the carpet, the closet door, which was previously open, slammed shut. And not just a light close of the door, it closed with force. It scared me half to death. I opened the closet door with no problem and looked around. Nothing there. I couldn't find any sort of source that would explain the door slamming. My boss came over for dinner with his wife last night, and he gave my son a medal of St. Michael, the Archangel, to wear around his neck that his grandfather had given to him, and said that if he was wearing that, then nothing would hurt him. My son also allowed my boss to pick him up and show him the inside of the closet. He said that there was nothing in there to be scared of, and if he ever got scared, to point the medal at it and ask for protection. Before he left the room, my boss looked at the closet and said, "If I have to come back here because of you, there's going to be a big problem," and then told my son, "I think there was something in here. We probably scared it away." Since then, which has been just over 24 hours, there has not been any issues that I'm aware of. My younger of the two did have a few instances where he was talking to himself, but as far as he and his personality go, that is not uncommon. He talks out loud when playing with his toys. I wouldn't call that supernatural. We'll see how tonight goes. I don't really know what's going on or how to handle it properly. Just one of those things you really don't go over in parenting books. Upvote. That is the end of that story. A very good story. I just pictured a scene from a horror movie. I was actually thinking of, my gosh, I don't see how my mic is not picking up my dog snoring. I might have to go wake her up. Anyways, have any of you seen the horror movie called Mama? Where she's like, "What's in the closet?" And the two little girls are like, "Nothing." 1 second. Okay, I had to give my dog a nudge and wake her up. But as I was saying, the movie Mama, which I really liked that movie, that's what it reminded me of. That scene, "What's in the closet?" Had she opened the closet, she probably would have died. Okay, very good story, very creepy. In general, though, I think kids can be really creepy. Their imaginations are free, wild. They will see and hear scary things that aren't necessarily there. You know, I hope it gets better for this person, and I hope that her son can sleep in his own room and feel safe. On to the next story. Okay, so this next story is called "A couple years ago, a friend and I spotted a humanoid figure on some trails by my house. This week, it came back. The first encounter took place in the summer of, I believe, 2016 in Ontario, Canada. Although it was a while ago, I still remember every detail like it was yesterday. If I had been alone, I would have chalked it up to something else, but the fact that both of us saw this thing is what really puts me off. A friend and I were walking along a trail that runs alongside the main river that cuts through the city. There are some great wooded trails along the river, and some of them even lead to the neighboring cities, but I digress. The sun was setting, and it was that time of the evening where it was insanely dark under the tree coverage, but still fairly light beyond the leaves. I had turned on my phone flashlight to light the way and put on some music for the two of us to listen to while we hustled home. The bugs were starting to bite, and being so close to the river, they got pretty nasty. I had paused to change the song on my phone, and my friend glances to the left into the woods. She asks me, "What's that?" And instinctively I turn the light to where she was looking. In the darkness of the bushes and trees, we watch as this thing takes off running deeper into the brush, with its back turned to us. It was making a ton of noise, twigs snapping, leaves rustling. It really did not seem to care. Now, there are deer on this trail. I've seen a few on my walks during the day, but this was absolutely not a deer. Even in such a short amount of time, image of this thing running from us is burned in my mind. It was on all fours. It had an awkward gait, like a human trying to run on its hands and feet, meaning its arms were far too short compared to its legs to be running like that. This thing was white, and the light reflected off its leathery-looking skin. It was skinny with thin arms and legs. The two of us didn't stick around much longer after that, and instead chose to run the rest of the trail until we hit the end that led out into a set of soccer fields. We never spoke about it after, and if we did, it was sort of in passing. That was until yesterday. I was scrolling through the subreddit for my city and paused the minute I saw a title informing people to stay away from the river trails. Curious, I checked the post out. The post described exactly what my friend and I had seen that night on those exact set of trails by the river. I broke out into a cold sweat and immediately texted her despite not speaking for a while, as adulthood has kind of caught up to us both. She told me she still thinks about that encounter and does so at least once a week. I linked her the post and she was floored by it. I unfortunately won't be able to link the post as it gives identifying details. Yeah, okay. But reading through the replies, it was what you would expect from Reddit. People chalking it up to be the guy being mentally ill, joking about him doing drugs, and people who genuinely took him seriously were being downvoted and mocked. Someone mentioned it was all bullshit, and that stories of these things had been going around in the area since 1972, meaning this probably wasn't a one-off experience from the beginning. I'm always a little hesitant to share the story out of fear that I'd get the same reception. I know what I saw that night, and knowing it's possibly still in those woods along a set of trails I still walk to this day is kind of unsettling for me. I am one of those people that am not going to receive it well. If you say you have proof and then say, oh, but I can't upload it because of blah blah blah, then I'm just not going to believe you. You can blur details if you need to. But anyway, definitely a scary situation to be in, to be on the set of trails and to see a humanoid running on all fours in the forest. I mean, that would give me nightmares. Let's see. Okay, this next story. I did read this story, and it is very short, but very effective. So I'll go ahead and begin. This story is titled, 3 Men Picked Up a Small Lamp. Okay, so this just happened, and I am genuinely so creeped out. I am a woman, and I was trying to get rid of my ex's stuff. Everyone told me to do Facebook Marketplace. I have terrible experiences with Facebook Marketplace. So many fucking scammers and creepy people. I no longer use Facebook Marketplace. Anyway, so I did. I listed a lamp for $5. I just wanted it gone. This guy contacted me, asked for it, then told me he was going to come to get it, but he's driving from an area 30 minutes away. I made a mistake. I put the lamp right outside my door because I'm a coward, and I lied about an emergency that I had to leave for. I think my lie saved me from something really bad. I have a door camera. I watched 3 full-grown men walk up to the lamp, stand there for a few minutes, and then walk off. On the video, they were talking and sounded upset that they came all this way for nothing. They left. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they really did just want the lamp. Still, why travel so far for a lamp? And why bring 2 friends? And then there is an edit. This writer added, I just rewatched the cameras. They looked under my doormat and took a picture of my door. I appreciate you all recall saying it. I have learned my lesson. I am not going to ever let anyone come to my door. I feel dumb about it, but what's done is done. Lesson learned. I'm grateful things did not end badly. That is so fucking scary. Fuck Facebook Marketplace. That place is so fucking shady. I'm glad this woman is okay. And I'm glad she has a doorbell camera or a door camera. Those definitely come in handy. Okay, short but effective. I think that's so scary. And then the last but not least, this story is called It's Theirs. I haven't read this one. Okay. I have a house in Tasmania on top of a hill, quite isolated and about 30 minutes away from anyone. The history of the hill is unclear, but about 90 years ago there was a bakery situated upon the hill, and of unknown reasons, this bakery was burnt down. Nothing remained of it apart from a concrete slab that we use for putting dead thorns and dead wood on. The actual house, built several years after the incident, has truthfully seen better days, but is still in great condition, minus a few leaks that appear every once in a while. I called this house home for a number of years, but moved away, then returned, then moved, then returned. The spelling is not great in the story. It was a cycle that my entire family was getting sick of, leaving the place we cherish only to come back to it, but it was in worse condition when we came back to it. Let's see. Growing up there, I have many memories of the outdoors, as it is a large property, about 5 acres. These memories are full of laughter and delight, but of what I can remember of the inside of the building are filled with discomfort and a sense of unease, especially as a young child. It was at this property that several strange and unexplainable things have occurred, both good and bad, and creepy and unnerving. But to state that only creepy things took place there would be a lie. I have had several encounters, if you would, of a scary nature, and even to this day have many people state that only scary shit happens when I'm around. Moving shadows or creaking floors can be explained most of the time, but distinct voices of my father, who wasn't within 70 kilometers of my house, became harder to put up to something like just the wind. Getting to the title, at this property of mine, we have many things my mother would call spirits, and I don't care if you believe in them or not, they exist, at least around my family. 2 of these spirits are distinct to me and my father because they only play tricks on the 2 of us. We have both seen them respectfully, but only ever when we're together. One of them lives inside and moves things around, like chairs and opens doors that shouldn't open. I have heard this thing call out to me many times before, but I placed it up to me hearing things, because it always happened when other people were inside the house. But there was one time that I refused to enter the house for 5 hours straight one afternoon, as I distinctly heard my father's voice screaming at the top of his lungs, calling for help over and over again. But the cry was the same every time, the same volume, the same tone. It went on for about 3 to 4 minutes before complete silence. At this time, however, my father was at work in town, about 75 kilometers away from my current location. I have no idea what it is, but I know that it's a small creature, about 3 feet in height, and only ever shows itself when you're alone, or with either my father and I. The other one is much larger in stature, standing at around 5 feet. From what we can tell, it's a lot more calm and doesn't make much noise above regular conversation, and on many accounts it has shown itself fully, but only crouched or hunched over. Both of these entities have no complexion and show no face. Only when hiding does this thing show its true height, shy child. My father swears on everything he holds dear. He has heard this creature call out to him, saying things like, "Dad, Dad, come here," or "Dad, I need you." On several accounts has this happened. We will be moving from this place once more. My only hope is that we never return, for I truly fear that if we ever come back, we will not leave, not ever, and that someone would read our names off of a headstone. That is the end of that story. Wouldn't it be scary if one day I'm just reading a story and I look up into the camera and there's like a ghost face right next to me? That would be scary. Okay. Kind of well written. There's a lot of misspelled words, so I kind of had to fix it while reading it out loud, but sure. That's creepy. I don't really necessarily believe in ghosts, but if that happened, that would be really scary. Definitely. I wish they had posted a picture of the house on the hill, but they did not, so there's that. Anyway, those are the 4 stories that I chose to read to you today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you're having a good weekend. I'm filming this on a Saturday, so you'll be watching this on Sunday, I hope. I'm gonna go ahead and edit this tomorrow. But thank you so much for watching. If you are